So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to solder Adafruit breakout boards. I use 0.6mm lead-free solder for most of my electronics. When buying solder, make sure it is thin, and for electronics, and I'll let you decide for yourself between lead or lead-free, but either way, you should always open a window for ventilation for your health. It's nice breeze today. So the first step is to turn your soldering iron or station on and wait for it to heat up. And as it heats up, I always damp the sponge. And I always squeeze out as much water as possible. Get that ready. Now we want to tin the tip of the iron to get it ready for effective soldering. To get the best results, the first thing I always do is tin the tip so that it's nice and shiny. So like here's what the tip looks like before it is tinned, and here are some tweezers, and they should be as shiny as the tweezers for when you're done tinning. So to tin it, I put lots of solder, melt lots of solder onto the tip, then I wipe off the solder on the sponge. There goes my solder. So you know this side is nice and shiny, but that to both sides, and you're ready to solder. So most Adafruit breakout boards come with headers, and to make soldering easy, I stick them in a breadboard and place the board on top. But this is an accelerometer, so you probably want it as flat as possible. And if I were to solder it like this, not sure if you can see, but it would be on an angle. So to make it flush, I support it with another row of headers just underneath like that. To keep the board parallel and everything nice, since this is direction sensitive. Okay, and now we're ready to solder. So I usually add a little bit of solder to the tip. It makes it much easier when melting it onto the board. I don't use this to make the joint, but it makes adding more solder to the joint much easier. So you want to try to cover the pin and the pad. Add solder and pull away. And wipe off any excess solder. That's a little bit too much solder, my first joint. So I melt it again and try to wick some away, and that's better. It'll work. So add a little solder. the solder will join the pin and the pad only if both of them are heated. And the flux inside the solder helps with that. So make sure the iron is making contact with the pad and the pin. One advantage of Adafruit boards is that everything is gold plated, which prevents corrosion or bad stuff from getting on the boards. So make sure the pin and the pad is heated, and add solder, and then pull away and wait for it to cool off. Avoid contact with the other components on the board. Uh-oh. Whoops, that didn't turn out good. There, all better.